Let's just cut to the chase, sports fans. After getting shellacked in Game 4 by 25 points, the Mavericks got desperate and decided to start a player who didn't even play in half their games. Don't get me wrong, I love Boban, and I'll give Carlisle props for the creativity of going to what has to be the tallest front court ever. But it made them have to play 2-3 zone for all those Boban minutes. Here's how the Clippers scored against the zone in the last 3 games. There's no other way to categorize the results of these possessions other than to say,
"Not great, Bob."
So why did they keep doing it? Let's just look at the quality of shots the Clippers got against the zone in the first quarter of Game 7. I'm not even looking at the result, just how good these looks are. Getting Kawhi to the free throw line is almost a guaranteed bucket. An easy drive to the rim for an 8-foot floater by Reggie Jackson. A wide open Paul George 3 and a nice double phalanx inside ball screen to erase Tim Hardaway Jr. An easy 3-pointer where Marcus Morris got to do a yoga stretch before releasing this up and in as his sunrise salutation. The simplest of reversals to Kawhi Leonard catches Finney Smith having to be faster than the ball is passed through the air, and another wide open 3. Kawhi splits the guards out top, a big no-no for his zone, forcing Porzingis to have to be faster than the ball is passed through the air as well. And Paul George can lick his thumb and check the wind, he's so wide open from the corner. On this Leonard probe to the right block, they get a double team. The reversal forces Porzingis up to the wing, making Marjanovic the forward that has to close out to the corner. You'd think that when a player like Nick Batum is dunking on your zone, it's time to get out of it for good, especially since this is a Game 7 and every possession matters. Okay, so in the third quarter, remarkably, the zone finally started holding up. They only gave up 7 points in 11 possessions, and it led to their biggest lead of the game at 5 points. The flash by Kawhi to the free throw line doesn't work because he's too close to Reggie Jackson on the wing, allowing Finney Smith to recover instead of forcing Luka to have to full rotate there. This invites the ISO right into the teeth of the defense, and credit to Boban for getting a hand up to contest in the corner. But the warning signs were still there. The flash to the middle to Marcus Morris is a lot different than when it's Kawhi, but Paul George collapses the right half of the zone with this aggressive drive. Boban has to step out of the lane inside of 3 seconds. Luka is too concerned with Kawhi on the weak side, and the one thing that should never happen to his zone happens. They get an easy layup. And Reggie gets all the way to the basket. Boban nails him in the head, but no call, so they get a break here. But a simple game of catch finds Finney Smith unable to keep up with the speed of the ball being passed back and forth for yet another wide open 3-pointer. Rather than get Boban out of there, they decide to go man-to-man, and I'm shaking my head as Boban is forced to pick up Kawhi in the corner, and Carlisle should be trying to sub him out mid-possession as Kawhi does this to cue the Rocky music and signal this game is already over. And it gets worse because now they're confused. Are they in man or zone? Either way, they leave Terrence Mann wide open at the block for the catch. 3 guys run to him, leading to an open Morris 3-pointer to give the Clips a 5-point lead they never looked back from, especially considering they asked Trey Burke to come in, having not played any meaningful minutes in this series till this point. With the clock winding down, Luka continued to give the ball up way too easily in the pick and roll, forcing Burke to have to create something off the dribble, and an off-foot floating lefty shot proved too difficult. And for Carlisle to go to a lineup that had literally never played together before all season puts them in a bad position. Luka again just gives the ball up after a simple hedge by Kennard, and is it a surprise that we see a miscue as Boban isn't ready for the lob? You cannot point to Burke. It was Luka who didn't box out Kawhi out here during the scramble to contain, and it led to a big turning point as Kawhi gets an and one. Luka again misreads the rotation, sticking with Batum for one step too many, leading to this wide open Kennard 3 that effectively ended the game as the Mavs never recovered. If we're comparing adjustments, Tyronn Lue followed what I suggested in cutting Zubac's minutes and putting Kennard in there, as well as benching Beverly and flashing Kawhi to the free throw line versus the zone. But Carlisle refused to get out of the zone, couldn't solve the high hedge that got the ball out of Luka's hands so often, and played strange lineups. These kind of things lead to Porzingis complaining about his role and speculation of a coaching change. But with a talent like Luka on your roster, the clock is ticking, and you can't afford to squander too many opportunities like they did here.